Chapter 1. Drip, drip, drip. Water from the ceiling of the cave continued to fall at a constant pace. Not too fast, but not slow either. The room was dimly lit by multiple torches hanging on the sides of the wall. Multiple large cylindrical containers filled with liquid were erected in the room and gave off a light blue glow. In one of the containers the fingers of a specimen slightly moved. Ugh, what happened? Where am I? Am I not dead? I took a minute to slowly assimilate my mind and recollect my thoughts since all I could see was darkness. The last thing I remembered was being shot in the chest and then pressing a button that triggered an explosion. Oh wait. Right, I was on a search and destroy mission. I worked as an international spy for the UN and was supposed to infiltrate and recover or destroy the new weapon of one of the most dangerous terrorist organizations in the world. The day before I was about to complete my mission, someone leaked the info of my mission to the enemy, so I had to work in haste. I ended up getting shot in the process, but I was able to successfully transmit the data of their weaponized research to the UN. Since I was dying and had no way to escape, I ended up destroying the entire research base with the multiple explosives I planted. I should have died then and there, but turns out I'm alive. Is this what they call reincarnation? I slowly opened my eyes and took in my surroundings. Seems I'm in some sort of experimental container, I mused as I checked over the multiple needles and pads attached to my new body. Wow, my hands are pretty pale looking. Wait, does this mean my entire body is this pale? Geez, almost like a ghost. I have a feeling that if I stick around here I'll be in for a world of torture. Seems like the other containers are empty. And my hands and feet are pretty small. Did I reincarnate into the body of a child? As I was musing to myself, I heard footsteps coming from the hallway corridor, so I quickly resumed my dead-like comatose state. Surprisingly, even with my eyes closed, I seemed to be able to tell where the mysterious figure was and track its movements. In my mind, the figure looked like a blue light of fire. The footsteps slowly got louder and louder until they came to a stop in front of the container I was in. I wonder who it is, I silently pondered. Probably the person who put me in this damned jar. What I wasn't expecting was that the voice of this mysterious individual sounded incredibly eerie and sinister. Another failure, it said. Looks like I'll have to leave this hideout before I'm discovered. What a pity. Other than that kid Yamato, every other experimental subject died in the process of creating a wood-style user. I even went to the lengths of giving this one the Sharingan and tortured its mind in hopes to unleash the Mangekyo Sharingan. Unfortunately, both the body and the mind couldn't stand the process and ended up shutting down. I silently cursed in my head at this vicious bastard and was also surprised at myself that I understood what he was saying. After a while of this mysterious figure taking a few important documents, he left without saying another word. I remained unmoved for a few hours just in case before opening my eyes again and taking a sweep around the room with my eyes. Surprisingly, everything in the room, even while being dimly lit, was perfectly clear to me. Oh wait, that person did say he gave this body Sharingan. No way, don't tell me I reincarnated into the world of Naruto? And that person, no way, could that have been Orochimaru? I was reincarnated into the body of one of his experimental subjects? I unplugged the pads and needles attached to my body and took off my breathing mask before swimming to the top of the container and removing the lid to climb out. I gave my body a quick stretch and took in a deep breath before looking at my naked reflection through the glass container. Wow, pale, I mused to myself. And definitely male. Surprisingly, I'm not genderless as one of Orochimaru's experiments. I ran my hand through my snow-white hair, which was surprisingly soft. From the looks of my appearance, I'm probably around age 4 or 5. I stared fixedly at my eyes, which bore the blood-red color of the Sharingan and the trademark 3-tomo pattern on them. I focused in an attempt to deactivate the Sharingan, which failed miserably. Guess I can't deactivate the Sharingan since my body isn't that of the Uchiha. I focused on my body and sensed the changes of energy flow through it. This energy must be chakra. Surprisingly, the drain on my chakra was minimal. Must have something to do with what Orochimaru did to this body. My guess is that this was an artificial body made from the first Hokage cells. For an artificial body, I'm surprisingly handsome compared to the experimental subjects I saw in the anime and manga of my past life. Thankfully, I don't look like White Zetsu. I wonder which timeline of the Narutoverse I was reincarnated in. Since Orochimaru mentioned recreating wood style and Sharingan implantation, I'm guessing before the Fourth Great World War and possibly after the Third Great World War. And Since I have the Sharingan, the Uchiha clan massacre must have occurred already. I walked around the room and found some drapes and cloth which I used to create some makeshift clothes to wear. I sat down on the ground looking through the memories contained in this body before a quick and sharp pain pierced my mind and my eyes. Evidently the previous owner of this experimental body had consciousness. And so the experiences it went through and kept as memories came rushing at me all at once. From the moment it was born to the inhumane torture it suffered, all of it filled my mind in one go as I let out an agonizing scream of pain. I clutched my eyes as blood ran down them and squirmed on the floor. This went on for a few hours before I lost consciousness. When I finally woke up, I took a deep breath and steadied my heart and my mind. That was awful. I only wanted to organize the memories of this body, but it suffered so much pain and torment that it built up a wall in the back of its mind to keep the pain at bay. Once I tried to pry open that wall in my subconscious, all that pain came back at once. I turned to look at my reflection once more and noticed the change in my eyes. Red eyes with 6 tomo on the outside, and instead of a black pupil in the center it was a swirl of darkness akin to that of a black hole. Mangekyo Sharingan. So, Orochimaru made this body go through all that pain and torture both physically and mentally in order for this body to awaken the Mangekyo. However, he failed to notice that this body awakened the Mangekyo just prior to its death. According to the memories of this body, Orochimaru put in a lot of time and effort creating and nurturing it aside from torturing it. Apparently this body is very good at assimilating other bloodlines and was a branch subject for his research on Uchiha Shin. If I remember correctly, Uchiha Shin was a character in the spin-off manga in the Naruto series after Naruto ended. He was an experimental subject used for creating a method to utilize multiple Sharingan, and later Orochimaru used Shin's Sharingan-filled arm to fuse it with Danzo. Shin later escaped and ran off into some other dimension with his clones. Guess he won't be making an appearance anytime soon. Getting up off the floor, I walked around the room one more time according to the memories this body studied of Orochimaru's movements. Pushing behind some of the rocks on the walls, I found a box. Aha! Orochimaru probably thought this was useless to him and left it. I carefully opened the box to find some scrolls inside and then opened and studied the contents contained within. Oh, this has some various sealing techniques. And this one contains some information on low-level D-rank ninjutsu, even some C-rank ninjutsu and taijutsu. Oh, the substitution jutsu will be useful. Body flicker jutsu, earth-style headhunter jutsu, leaf whirlwind, shadow shuriken, fire-style flame bullet, and a few others. Looks like Orochimaru collected some various jutsu that seem to be miscellaneous for him, but for me this is a golden opportunity. I sat down and carefully memorized the details of all the jutsu before creating a makeshift bag out of some rags and bundling my feet in some cloth as temporary protection for my feet. I cut a black cloth into a blindfold and utilizing one of the sealing techniques I just learned, I imprinted a one-way visual sealing technique on the blindfold before tying it around my eyes. The drain on my chakra wasn't too bad after using the one-way concealing seal jutsu. I wonder how my chakra reserves are compared to others. Considering this body is only 4 or 5 years old, my guess is the chakra I have access to isn't a small number. If I'm right and the Uchiha massacre happened already, and given the fact that I am not of the Uchiha clan, me possessing the Sharingan is way too high profile. I'd most likely get hunted down by other shinobi. With my Sharingan I can see through the blindfold just fine, and with the one-way concealing seal jutsu it'll prevent others from seeing through the blindfold and detecting my eyes as long as the blindfold doesn't come off. I walked to the box I opened earlier and took out a map to study it. Looks like I'm near Kirigakure, the land of water. According to some of the documents I found lying around this hideout, it seems that I was reincarnated about 5 years after the Kyuubi's attack on the Leaf Village. That should also mean that Sasuke and Naruto are about 5 years old right now. I have a chance given that I'm already near Kirigakure. If I time it right and move fast enough, I could potentially save Haku and Kimimaro. Since I know Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto are probably going to be on a team, what if I can save Haku and Kimimaro and form our own team? I know Kimimaro will suffer from an illness, but that won't be until the later years, and Konoha should have the medical equipment to keep him stable for a while until Tsunade arrives. Good thing Orochimaru had a detailed map here. Since I can sense chakra and people's presences from far away, I must be a sensor type, so that'll make things easier. Alright, I'm finally ready to get out of this dam.